Hey, welcome to Blueprints to Buildings podcast. I'm your host, Glen Palmer, and on this show, I interview the movers and shakers in the world of property development and real estate. So, whether you're a developer, architect, quantity surveyor, or agent, this podcast is where we can help you gain insider insights, avoiding costly mistakes, and staying ahead of a rapidly evolving industry. So this episode is brought to you by an industry-first visualization solution that is changing the world how property is planned, marketed, and sold. They work with developers, architects, and agents, helping them bring their visions to life using immersive 3D walkthroughs, digital twins, and a fully interactive visual sales suites. This is more than just pretty visuals. This is technology that creates alignment across all the internal stakeholders, minimizes misunderstandings during the planning stage, and slashing marketing timelines. So instead of waiting for bricks and mortars, buyers can now experience the finished product from anywhere in the world, which means faster pre-sales, stronger engagement, and increased confidence from investors and buyers alike. On average, their clients see a cost savings between 8 and 11% across planning, marketing, and sales. But more importantly, they gain seriously edge in a very competitive market. So today's guest brings a rare and deeply thoughtful perspective into the conversation. Lakshimi is an architect and conservation specialist who began her journey in a country-rich landscapes of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Blend of traditions, stories, and architectural forms sparked a lifelong interest in heritage. She's worked hands-on with firms like CRCI and Beyond Built, engaging directly with diverse communities on site, and holds a master's in conservation and regeneration from CEPT University. Her work goes beyond just restoring buildings. It's about honoring context, rethinking methodologies, and viewing heritage not as something frozen in time, but something that is alive and evolving. She's also a representative of ICOMOS, is that correct? India's
ICOMOS.
emerging professionals working group, and a voice for conservation, thinking that it blends academic vigor and real world impact. Lakshimi, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome. Um, and so let's just dive in with my first question. And it's a question I always ask my guests as it really intrigues me. So if you had time travel and time travel was a reality and you had a chance to go back in time to when you first started your career, what advice would the person that you are now tell your younger self?
Thank you very much, Glenn, for inviting me to the show.
You're
It's
more than
a
welcome.
privilege for me to be here. And thank you for this very thoughtful question or self reflection. So, if I could give advice to my younger self, I would say don't be afraid of making mistakes. Take bold steps and hold yourself accountable. Real learning comes through experience, and it's perfectly fine not to know everything at the start. And what matters is the willingness to learn. So, having both short term and long term goals is essential. For me, when I started into the field, I always had long term goal. One I was able to achieve was this conservation, being in the conservation field. And then there's several smaller goals which are still a work in progress. I have always been fascinated by the idea of 5 year plan. So this mindset has been very helpful for me. It pushes one to think ahead about where you want to be, where you want to take your life ahead, and it helps you plan in that direction. So finally, I believe that, or I want to remind my younger self that every single day is a work in progress, and every opportunity, take it as an opportunity to grow a little more, and it acts as one step closer to the life or the journey or where you want to be.
Nice. I like it. I like it. So basically, the takeaways is plan ahead, have goals, have big goals, and don't take life too seriously. Because
Yeah.
you got to make it fun, don't you? You got to have a little bit of fun. So your upbringing across Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Am I saying that correctly? I know I'm not.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so they give you an early disposition towards the cultural richness and the architectural typologies. So how has that shaped your philosophy of heritage, not as just the static artifacts, but as living stories?
Well, definitely. So I was born in Kerala, in the south of India, and grew up in the neighboring state of Tamil Nadu. And as a child, I have had the opportunity to travel across many parts of India, which also allowed me to immerse myself in variety of cultural experiences. And definitely, growing up in Kerala and Tamil Nadu exposed me not only to different architectural typologies, like you rightly mentioned, but also the richness of everyday life, be it food cuisines, art forms, dance, music, traditions, festivals, and even rituals, which varies. These experiences gave me a deeper appreciation of how culture shapes one identity, and it also reflects on the built environments. While also there are several sort of elements which overlap between different communities. There are connects. It's not an isolation. So even as at a global level, even at national level, you always find there are connecting elements, or basically many things which one can relate to, but it's just unique to one area which acts as its identity. For example, in Kerala, it is very common in households to have drinking water infused with herbal powder, which is normally taken from the tree barks, and it's considered very traditional, and you'll find it in every household. You may not find that in Tamil Nadu. So, but in Tamil Nadu, in the state of Tamil Nadu, you find every morning a person, normally women, but these days it's changing. Even a man who draws columns, which is actually it's a practice of drawing patterns in the threshold.
Hmm.
It's drawn through rice powder, different designs, and which you will find people doing it every morning as a ritual. That's how they start the morning. So you will not find any household who are actually Tamil speaking, Tamil brought up in the culture, with no rangoli, no kolam outside the house. You will find it in every household. So these sort of experiences, be it about the drinking water in Kerala, or be it the kolam in Tamil Nadu. There are many other traditions that each state, each area, each region has. So I think that reflects on your experience. You understand people. You understand that there are um, more layers to what culture is, and you appreciate and respect, and that carries with you living in and experiencing it.
Wow, I didn't really realize that India has such a different, diverse, rich culture. Um, in England, you have your different cultures and your different dialects, but when it translates into buildings, they're pretty much all the same. I mean, you got some really nice buildings in London and really nice buildings but the majority of house buildings is pretty much the same, and you don't get that sort of rich cultural texture. So, moving on to the next question then. Your internship at CRCI and then again at Beyond Built, working in the new cultural and logistics context, you must have been offered a unique challenges. So, can you share an experience whether you felt that immersive visual tools could have bridged that engagement gap more effectively, especially when communicating with communities that struggled with complex architectural language? Can you give an example?
Sure. So I began my career in the cultural heritage realm with CRCI, which is Cultural Resource Conservation Initiative, one of the most renowned conservation practices in India. So working there, my early project took me to Amritsar, which is a city in the state of Punjab in India, where
Mm-hmm.
I spent nearly a month on site during my internship. The city was very warm. The people were calm. There was a cultural richness, and it was very welcoming in nature. The city was very welcoming, and I really fell in love with that place. Also because it's your first sort of engagement as an intern. You love each and every experience. You remember each and every experience. So it was one such for me at CRCI. So, and my journey at Beyond Built Private Limited, here I started after my educational qualification of Bachelor's of Architecture as a junior architect. And this again is very dear to me because it gave me invaluable site experiences and the mentorship I got uh, from Miss Nidhi Madan and Miss Nupur Protikarna, and they were very good. I mean, the experiences, the mentorship stays with me until date. I remember them on Teachers' Day, or when I actually deal with any challenges. I remember the sort of guidance I got, and I believe that I can definitely do it. So, in that instance, I would like to share a memory from those days.
Please do. Please
So I
do.
was interested. Yeah, yeah. So I was entrusted with resolving site issues and carrying out line marking. So in architecture, when we have to move from paper to on-site, we need to give line marking based on which the on-field execution agency, the contractor, can actually do the construction. So I was entrusted with this responsibility for the project Eco Corridor, an urban regeneration project in Badshahpur, Gurgaon, which is in the National Capital Region of India.
Yeah.
And it was my very first time handling the line marking, and I was really uncertain. But however, I carefully planned my approach as to how to go about it. I like the journey to my site was around 45 minutes, and I remember sort of planning my next steps. So I kept on doing that, and with time and I went on site, and I was able to do it. And also, thankfully, the people, the execution agency, the contractors, they were very helpful. Though initially, obviously, they were resistant for having a young architect to come and actually tell them what to do. But with time, we, I think, mutually started enjoying working together. So it was basically a memory of how I overcame a challenge, because at times you feel there are certain tasks and responsibilities that you may not be aware of, but you when you have a carefully planned approach, it does help. So for a young architect, watching a design move from paper to ground was nothing short of a dream come true. And even today I feel the same joy, whenever I see anything tangible coming up from what I imagine.
Mm.
And I also believe that working in diverse contexts was also something which you asked. So, working in diverse contexts actually has taught me the importance of communication beyond words. So, it's not always about languages, it's beyond that. So, when I had limited knowledge of the local language, there were times that I relied on symbols, gestures, or visual cues to actually connect with communities and the execution agency. And over time, I also sort of improved on these languages. My ability to adapt and engage in meaningful conversation in the local language improved with time. And also, I can probably say that I'm a polyglot. I can speak 5 languages, including English, and I
Wow.
hopefully want to learn an international language someday. I mean, that's sort of in my list to learn it, and I believe I can do that.
What
So,
language would you like to learn? What would be the
I
top of the
would
list?
like to. I think I would go like to learn French to
Nice.
start with.
Yeah.
I've not yet explored, but I definitely want to try learning an international language for sure.
Nice, nice. I
And
love it.
yeah, yeah. Also, also in architecture, I have learned that the essence of design is not always technical language, but it's also about the lived experience. So, for example, a low height ceiling versus an archway, or a domed space, this speaks differently to people. The experience you feel when you walk through different elements that I mentioned are very different. And
Hmm.
these the heritage structures all over the world, if we observe keenly, they have embedded these timeless experiences within it. Somehow in the modern environment we forget to sort of think, we always don't do that, but many architects do that, to think as how a person would experience while passing through a certain space, or
Hmm.
how would one person feel while being in a certain environment, and that becomes very important. So I totally agree that beyond architecture, I believe that visual communication in urban environments through pictorial representations, art forms, or even food can actually transcend boundaries and help in fostering cultural immersion. And this sort of connects between people, even though a person might not know the local language, that connects culture.
Yeah. Nice. So on your LinkedIn profile, you've spoken about conservation beyond commodification and chronology. So how do you think that digital tools could help reframe a heritage project that is always evolving? It's a living experience rather than something that is to be preserved in amber. What's your take on that?
Heritage conservation to me is an experience, like I mentioned, that extends far beyond history and physical structures. It
Hmm.
is about environments, or rather, an ecology of connections, where there are stories, memories, and there is a collective presence that is embedded in the tangible structures, tangible fabric of a place that you always see. So, heritage is not static in nature, it breathes through lived experience of people, their rituals, the spaces they inhabit. So when you think about temples, when you think about urban places, they all have heritage, and they all become live with us, human presence within that, and the traditions and cultures that goes around, and even the daily life. So, in this context, I feel that digital tools play a vital role. Uh, but it is about enriching of what exists. So, it's about enriching how people can engage with this heritage. They have the capacity to amplify narratives, showcase culture, and make those intangible aspects that we sometimes miss to see visible and accessible. So, technology does have this sort of possibilities that can be explored. It
Sure.
also helps in bridging the past, which normally not everyone likes to read. So for most of the people, visuals play an important part. So technology accompanied by visuals can help in people inspire, help people understand, reflect, and get uh, a higher, deeper sensitivity towards heritage. And I think it's important for all human beings to have a deeper understanding of their heritage, their roots. So it does help in that. And when we consider urban spaces, heritage is not confined to iconic buildings or monuments alone. It extends to neighborhoods, marketplaces, streets, cultural practices that together shapes the city's identity. Like
Yeah.
the identity of the place I live is different from the identity of the place you live, and it is experienced by you, and only you can explain what it is. Or as a outsider, I may be able to experience when I visit the place, and that's the magic that heritage spaces have. But imagine a person is visiting a place for a very short period. Technology can definitely help in providing that person a glimpse of what it is
Yeah.
through its uh, experiences. So that's where technology can sort of help. So I believe it helps in enriching what exists or enhancing what exists. So it's more like a support system to what exists.
Nice. Excellent. So you can use it as an add-on feature to sort of improve what is already out there. You just make it better with
Yeah.
technology. So your work with is it the ICOMOS India and CEPT? They expose you to the scientific discourse of heritage and the need to communicate with diverse audiences. So what are the biggest communication hurdles that you face? And do you think that immersive visuals could help experts and the public connect better with both heritage narratives?
Yeah, so I pursued my master's in conservation and regeneration at CEPT University. So this experience equipped me with invaluable technical expertise and understanding of various methodologies. The program emphasized process-driven learning. So there was a lot of focus on process rather than the end item. It was more about how we work with diverse methodologies. There were hands-on engagement and site-based methods and technologies. This also sharpened my analytical abilities, my educational experience at SEP. It helped me understand and work through analysis for each and every sort of task given, each and every site given. It also helped me nurture a strong reading habit
Hmm.
and also trained me to translate complex narratives into clear graphical representations. So that is where actually I realized that visual narratives does have a great impact, while me myself trying to sort of decode it further into diagrams. And that, to be honest, is a very difficult, challenging task to translate text or technical content into graphical representation. So but now I really love doing it. So initially it was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
That is when I actually, alongside my academic journey, I engaged with ICOMOS. ICOMOS is International Council on Monuments and Sites on a voluntary basis. And I contributed to multiple events and programs through this platform. So ICOMOS is a global network with national chapters and it advocates for cultural heritage awareness and outreach. So during my engagement with ICOMOS, I was also the elected EPWG. EPWG is Emerging Professionals Working Group South Zone representative for
Hmm.
3 years, which actually enabled me to play an active role in curation and leading several initiatives.
Nice.
So ICOMOS did play a big role in my journey to help me come out of the shell I was to explore beyond and also take a lead in decision making processes, though it was on a voluntary basis, and that gave the freedom as well. I strongly believe that visuals, like you asked, are very powerful tools for advocacy and engagement.
Hmm.
And this conviction that actually started my own or co-founded Cultural Heritage Narratives, a platform dedicated to heritage advocacy through creative strategies.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
this initiative focuses on simplifying complex contexts and creating regenerative, accessible narratives that resonate with diverse audiences. The idea is to reach beyond technical backgrounds to connect more widely with people. So I urge you to check this out on Instagram, Cultural Heritage Narratives, and do provide your feedback if you have any. I would
Yeah.
love to hear from you. Yeah.
I'm just making a quick note on that so I can check
Yeah.
it out. So
Yes, thank you.
cultural, what was it? Cultural
Heritage Narratives.
heritage narratives. Yeah. So anyone that wants to check it out, please go on to Instagram, check out cultural heritage narratives. And finally, given your growing expertise and methodologies of conservation and regeneration. What role do you see technology playing in heritage communication? So, if there was a tool that helped stakeholders, partners, heritage bodies, communities experience the site's story before the restoration has actually happened, how valuable do you think that would be?
Well, technology is advancing rapidly across every field, and heritage conservation is no exception. In the conservation practice, documentation is a critical step. It's one of the first steps, which involves mapping the conditions of the building or mapping the condition of urban places, identifying what are the issues, identifying the defects, and recording them thoroughly before any actual decisions are made or actual work happens as a treatment to what was observed. So, advanced technologies have greatly enhanced this process, allowing for more accurate and time saving and resource saving implementation on ground when coming to documentation. Beyond efficiency, these technological interventions also open up new ways of storytelling because it helps you sort of document a wide um, it in a wide format that can be accessible and understandable by multiple typology of audience. So they also help us in engaging with conservation and making it more inclusive and accessible because of its format, like I mentioned.
Hmm.
So some of the tools that are actually being utilized for this purpose are photogrammetry, lidar scanning, 3D modeling. These provide immersive experiences by ensuring that precise records, precise measurements can be taken, and it's really very time saving in nature.
Hmm.
So if such technologies, however, they're not used to the maximum, like very minimal percentage of people are able to access this. So I believe if such technologies are made more accessible and the related skill sets are widely integrated into the academic curricula, they can significantly enrich conservation practice. Not only would it strengthen technical capabilities, but it would also empower next generation of professionals to reimagine heritage through innovative methods. Yeah.
Nice. That's excellent. So thank you very much for your time. Um, so that is it. That's a wrap. Huge thanks to my guest, Lashimi,
Thank you.
for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show and learning from your experiences and your insights. And thank you, obviously, to the listeners as well. So this episode, it was brought to you by the Next Generation Property Visualization Technology, helping developers, agents sell smarter, faster, with more confidence. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, or you'll find the link below in the show notes below or at Glen Palmer Secure. Thanks for tuning into Blueprints to Buildings. I'm your host, Glen Palmer, and I'll see you in the next episode.